Hey folks, just getting out and about today. Really kind of overcast and windy. Not a good day to ride, so I thought I'd work on one of my other projects. Maybe do a short video on that. And hey Des, we'll see what this looks like. But anyway, heading into my shop. I got a new project I was going to work on today, so I think it's going to be kind of fun. Again, I thought it might be fun to share it with you guys. Obviously, most of the videos I've made so far are around the bikes, which kind of got a bike obsession, obviously, so that's kind of one of my main hobbies. But my other thing is shooting. I really enjoy doing that. And so today, I just bought a new toy, a little Ruger PC charger, which is a little 9mm. It's actually classified as a handgun. You know, some people call it a carbine, whatever. 6.5-inch barrel, 9mm. It's essentially Ruger's 9mm version of what I would call the Ruger 1022. It's just a straight blowback design. This one's got a 6.5-inch barrel. They make these with a stock and a 16-inch barrel. Those are kind of cool too. I really wanted something small and compact, so I decided to go with the handgun variant. A lot of things I like about this package. It accepts, not right now, it's got the Ruger magazine well on it, but it comes with a Glock magazine well, so I can use the same mags I use in my Model 17 Glock 9mm, so pretty excited about that. But today we're going to be doing some mods. Haven't even shot it yet, but I don't have the ability not to tinker with stuff, so got a box of goodies over here. Obviously got some Glock mags. I bought 4 more of these because I can use those in either my pistol or this new Ruger. Got a mag pull, single point sling. Never used these before, so kind of looking forward to that. This has one, yeah, right there you can see it's got the QD hole for the quick disconnect on there. Also got the BCM Mod 3 hand grip. This thing takes AR type hand grips, I'm pretty sure. If not, I guess I've got a spare. I have one of these on my BCM Reese 14 model. Really enjoy it. What else do we have? Oh yeah, more importantly, I'm going with the Holosun 510C. I think my brother runs one of these on his CZ Scorpion. I'm not sure, but I looked at a bunch of different potential optics. I looked at the Vortec, looked at the Tragicon, which I have on my 10mm Glock. I really like those, but I just think the bang for the buck, the Holosun, you know, you're getting more because you've got the, what is it, a 2 MOA dot plus a 65 MOA circle. I really like that option, especially on something like this, you know, the 9mm carbine / handgun. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Got a Picatinny rail on here. I'll get this thing out here in a minute. We'll look at it a little closer. The other thing I read a bunch of good stuff about this. I haven't used this company before, but Unity. This is a fast riser, so essentially it's just a Picatinny rail that raises the optic up. I forget what the total height is. It may say on here. I don't know if I got my glasses on. Yeah, it doesn't have the height on it, but I thought it was going to be a little too low just on the handgun itself, so I've got this riser mount, and we'll see how that works out. Finally, I did bring this too. So obviously with a handgun, you know, due to ATF, you can't put a forward, what they call it, a vertical grip on that, so it comes with this angled grip, I guess is how you describe it, from the factory. And I bought the BCM KAG mount, excuse me. So thinking about swapping that out, but we'll see how that feels first. And finally, I brought several accessories from M Carbo. They're known for making quality components, and they make a lot of stuff for the PC charger. First thing is the charging handle. You can see this is kind of small. We'll look at it in detail when I pull it out of the box. We're going to swap that out. That's just a simple bolt on. Extended mag release. I think it's got a glare on this. Extended mag release. Well, it's on the other side, but we'll look at that here in a bit. Got the extended bolt lock here, which you can kind of see the little bolt lock right there. We'll be replacing that to get a little more leverage. And then the final piece is the muzzle brake. So Just a muzzle brake that makes your gas disperse upward to kind of help with muzzle flip. So we'll see how that works. Also got another BCM sling mount here. I didn't know if I was going to put anything forward because this is very small, but it does have M-lock on front. But I'm thinking the single point sling will probably be better back here. But I did get the BCM QD quick disconnect swivel mount to go up here on the M-lock if we want to do something with that. I think that's it. What is this? Oh, extra crush washer for the muzzle brake, just in case I screw up when I'm putting that on. So anyway, that's the project for today. I'm going to go ahead and get set up, pull the gun out of the box, and start bolting some things together. Should be fun. All right, so let's get this thing unboxed. So, first thing as always is make sure the gun is unloaded, which it should be from the factory. Let's see, where's the bolt snout? Right there. Okay, so nothing in the magazine well, nothing in the chamber. So we are good. It's kind of heavy. I thought it was going to be heavy after everything I read, and it is surprisingly a little heavy, but it looks pretty beefy too. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so there's that. 6.5-inch barrel, and I'm going to kind of be learning as we go. So for the charging handle, the mag release, those are pretty straightforward. But on this bolt stop, I believe you have to break down the receiver, take that apart so you can get in here to change that. I read a lot of good stuff about these M-Carbo parts. They also make a trigger that is claimed to reduce trigger pull by 15%. So that's something I'm interested in too, but I thought I would shoot this first and see if I like the trigger. It's relatively cheap. I think their trigger is like 45 bucks plus shipping. So we'll check that out too. That may be a later upgrade. They also make a different spring and buffer that goes in the receiver up here. I'm kind of interested in that too, but I haven't even shot it yet. So I knew I wanted to upgrade the mag release and the charging handle and the bolt stop from an ergonomic standpoint. So doing those first, and also the the muzzle brake. It's one thing I mentioned earlier. It's got a threaded barrel, as you can see there. So this protector comes off, and then the muzzle brake should just screw on there. I got to find something to put in my vise over there, probably some leather or something to protect the finish on this hand guard. I don't have aluminum jaws. That's something I probably should buy, but if I can find some leather, I think that'll work to hold it rigidly in place while I screw down the muzzle brake. There's also a crush washer here, so you're going to have to use a little bit of force to get that in place where it won't back off. But anyway, that's that, and we'll see how to break this thing down. I mean, I know this is just a simple twist, but I didn't know if it needed to be dry fired or not when you're taking it apart. So I'm going to weed through the manual and see what it says here. Let's see. Here's magazine well. Where is the breakdown instructions? Disassembly on page 32. Okay. Yeah, so all these manuals now refer to their online video, which probably is the quickest way to find something out, is watching it done, but okay, chassis and trigger guard disassembly. Remove the magazine, lock the bolt back, place the safety in the on position, remove the barrel handguard assembly with the bolt still in the locked back position. Okay, so apparently you've got to be in the locked back position, which we were a minute ago, but we will retract. Where's my bolt stop? Right there. Okay, so we are locked back. Safety is on. I believe it said leave the safety on. Let's double check. I'm a big fan of not forcing things, so if something doesn't work, always check and see what's going on. To remove the handguard assembly with the bolt still in the locked back position, push the locking lever forward to unlock. Okay, and rotate counterclockwise. Okay, so it says safety on, bolt back, remove the forward. Okay. Let's see, so we push this forward and then counterclockwise, right? Okay, that feels pretty stout. Make sure I've got this right. Counterclockwise. Okay, I'm assuming that's from the receiver end, which would be this way. Let's try it like this. Man, that is very tight. Okay. Huh. Okay, counterclockwise from the barrel end. That's what I was doing wrong. So looking from the rear, you know, you're going clockwise, but looking from the barrel end, it would be counterclockwise. And then pull out. Okay, cool. So that's easy enough. Now we have it disassembled. You can see the 6.5-inch barrel there. So, you know, a little longer than your standard handgun, so ought to build a little more velocity, carry a little more power. Easy enough. Okay, so we got that disassembled. Now we want to release the bolt and let that go forward. All right, easy peasy. So yeah, you can definitely tell, even though that's a 6.5-inch barrel, this is where the majority of the weight is. It's just a huge chunk of steel back here. And I guess since this is a blowback design, obviously it's not gas operated, it's straight blowback. That's probably, a big portion of why it's so beefy like that. So, all right, so now I believe there's 2 screws, one here and one here. And I'm assuming these are standard. So let me get some Allen wrenches. Workspace here. Pretty small, whatever it is. 5/32, maybe 1/8. Let's see. Oh, bigger than an 1/8. Yeah, 5/32. Here we go. Alright, so that's the forward takedown bolt. Or that's what I'm calling it anyway. So there we go. Let's see, reach around here. I don't like it when screws go missing and get vaporized, so I use a little tray there for mine. Kind of keep those in the same place. And then let's see. All right, same size. Imagine that. Vendor actually making something that takes the same wrench on both ends. I guess I've been working on motorcycles too long where everything's different, but anyway. Feels like this has got a little Loctite on it, but yeah, got the red right there. Okay, so that's disassembled. Oh wow, okay, so that's the yeah, so this grip comes off when you do that. And then I'm looking on the inside, you can see it's just a standard, whatever size that is, looks like your standard AR type mount. So we'll be able to put the BCM Mod 3 on there here in a little while. So I believe this just taps out now. Yeah, it feels pretty loose. There's also, see, there's another bolt here, but I don't know if that comes out or not. I don't think it does, but yeah, there we go. Okay. So, yeah, it's just tight because it hasn't been disassembled before. Cool, and there you can see the mag well. It's got the standard Ruger, I think SR9 in there, and we're going to be swapping that out too. So that's another thing we can do while we got this apart. So, cool. And there's the trigger assembly. There's the bolt takedown, or excuse me, the bolt lock. So I believe we're going to have to pull this out to get to the pin. Oh no, you know what? The pin's right there. Okay, so maybe you can just pop that pin out, and then that's how you get the bolt release out. So I'm thinking I can just knock that pin down right there. Just to clear this, I can slide the bolt lock out and then install this new one. So this may be as far as we have to take it down. I'm not sure. Let's see, this probably got some instructions in it possibly, but maybe not. Dang, let's see if I can get the staples loose. Just didn't want to rip the paper here in case there's instructions. Actually, I think on the video I watched there may be a target on back, which is kind of cool too. Might put those to use next weekend. We're riding over to Mississippi to the farm, and I've got a couple of new, including this, I'll have 2 or 3 things I want to zero. I've got this, I've got my BCM, which I bought and haven't had a chance to zero yet. And I've also got a Glock Model 44, which is a 22 long rifle that I haven't shot yet, but it's just fixed sights. Okay, so we kind of got a target on there. That's cool. And an ad, join the forum. But anyway, so here is the bolt catch, or excuse me, the bolt stop. I keep using the wrong term. Yeah, so that's going to go there, and you can see how beefy that is compared to the stalker, so that's going to be really nice. Let me get a punch, and I think that's all we need to do is punch that down. So let's see. There's my gun tool drawer on my toolbox there. Yeah, these punches are, I've got a couple of sets of Wheeler. I think this is, I forget what brand that is. This is a Wheeler kit that I bought a while back, actually, to do the BCM with. It's got a little bitty hammer, some plastic and some brass punches. I'm a big fan of brass because I don't want to mar the finish up on anything. I'm kind of particular about my stuff. Yeah, see, so that just pops right out. Yeah, so if you look at that, you can see a lot more beef there, and especially on the bottom, it gives you a big flat to press on. One thing of note too is there's a spring in here, so you want to be careful and make sure that doesn't pop out, or you'll really be screwed if that happens. You notice this pin just dropped out when there's no pressure on it. Another thing M-Carbo makes is a, I won't say oversized, but a right size set of stainless pins for this trigger group. I started to buy that too, but I thought I wasn't going to put the trigger in, or excuse me, wasn't going to replace the trigger. Like I said, I'm going to fire this one first, see how I like it. But after looking at this and how sloppy that is, I'm probably going to, at a minimum, order their spring set. But I'm probably just going to order their trigger too. It's like 44, 45 bucks. But again, I'm going to try this one first, see if I like it. But if it actually does make it 15% lighter pull, I mean, generally speaking, a lighter trigger pull is always better. But again, there's the law of diminishing returns, so you don't want to, you know, have it too light where you have an accident or unexpected fire. Okay, so this apparently just slides in like that. I did not pay attention when I took this out. I should have, but there doesn't seem to be a detent on either side, and quite honestly, as sloppy as it is, I don't think it matters, so I'm going to put that back. Yeah, see, it just fell all the way through, so that's not good. I don't really care for that, so we're going to push it in until it's flush right there. And then, yeah, so if you look, so this pin just fell out too for the whole trigger group, so wow. Yeah, that's, I don't really like that, so I think I will definitely be ordering the spring set, whether I get the trigger or not, or excuse me, the pin set. Let's see, I need a rag here too. This thing's still got the factory lube on it, and it looks lubed pretty good, so. Okay, so we have put the bolt lock back in. So I think we're good there. Man, this thing really is lubed up tremendously from the factory, so well, that's a good thing. I think it's excessive. All right, so bolt stop is in. I am going to use the bag that came out of to save my old parts. Actually, I'll wipe this off. Yeah, no punch required for this because there's a very sloppy fit. Okay, so that's good. So I think we're good there. I'm going to turn this up where nothing is going to slide out. It's really amazing that those things are that loose, but I guess once you get the, I guess it really can't go anywhere when you put the cover back on. This feels to be like polymer, it's not metal. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that is done for now. I think we'll move on to the mag well swap. So let's see what we got here. This is the Glock mag well. You can see it says G9 and G40. I'm not really sure why it says 40 on there. I don't know if they are going to make a 40 cal one of these that'll take Glock magazines. Maybe that's a future enhancement, but it says G9 and G40. So I'm assuming it's 9mm and 40, but you know, obviously this is a 9mm variant. So, but what we need to do is swap this out, and I'm not really sure how to do that, so I'm going to have to refer back to the instructions here. Let's see what it says. Okay, where is contents? Yep. Magazine well removal and replacement, page 15. Okay, so remove the barrel handguard, which you've already done. Remove the receiver, which we've already done. Okay, then here we go. In order to remove the magazine well assembly, the magazine release button and magazine latch must both be compressed. Okay, so this is the mag release and the magazine latch. Okay, so I think it's this right here. So let's see how that works. So you got to press that. Okay, I think, let's see. Because this, yeah, there we go. It has to come out the top. Okay, got it. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay, so there's your magazine release. Here's your mag well. So to put that in, you got to press the magazine release, and then it kind of locks in place. And then, let's see, yeah, it just pulls out. So I think it's talking about the magazine latch right there. Don't know if you can see that. But anyway, so the new one should just drop right in. Let's see, there's the mag. Yeah, so like this. Yeah, make sure you got the magazine catch oriented with the magazine release. Very easy. Well, let's see. I'm still confused on this. Magazine latch must both be compressed. Magazine latch. Okay, so that just slides in and out. I wonder. Huh. I don't really see it making any difference there. I'm not sure why that has to be one way or the other, but for whatever reason it just seems to drop in, so. And I think that's all there is to it, so. There's the old magazine, the Ruger magazine well. We'll put that to the side. And we should be ready to reassemble the receiver. And again, it's kind of tight because it's brand new. Make sure we don't force anything. It's really just tight on this rear grip here. There we go. Okay, now that all feels good. So we can go ahead and start putting it back together. I'm not going to redo any of the Loctite because it still has a, you know, it's got gummies on there, so I think we're fine. This one didn't have Loctite anyway. It looks like it's good to go. This one would actually have to back out, I think, 2 sets of screws. There's screws in this brass and also screws in the receiver. So, and as you can see, this one still has brass on it. Well, you know what? That's got to go on the grip, so we'll see if we can... Well, I guess we can put the grip back on because the grip mounts to this block, and then, like I said, the screw for the new grip is right there. So we'll take this off here in a second, but for assembly, we'll just put this back together for now. Okay, easy peasy. I like to kind of, just like lug nuts, you know, tighten things up evenly where you're not accidentally putting things in a bind. Okay, so that's pretty tight. Back that off a turn. Now it's pulling up too, so that's really, you can feel it squeezing up, but all right. Okay, and I'm gonna check, I doubt if they have it, but I'm a big fan of proper torque, using a torque wrench, especially on stuff that, you know, is critical. I don't think this has a torque. Okay, 65 inch-pounds, wow. Okay, so 65 inch-pounds for this, and 65 inch-pounds for the rear. So that's cool. I don't know if my torque wrench, I've got a 3/8 is the smallest one I have, so I don't know if it goes that low or not. Yeah, actually it does. I think it goes all the way down to 25, so let's see. That's 55 plus 10. Okay, right there, 65 inch-pounds. Let me grab a socket. Double check myself. Yes, 65 inch-pounds. Cool. Click. Click. Okay, so we should be good there, and I'll double check this fastener after the, yep, okay, awesome. So that is torqued correctly. We got the magazine well in place, bolts working fine. Now let's try the bolt stop. Yeah, nice. So you can see that is definitely a lot wider and better than the old piece. It's got a little footprint to it too, where the other was just a slot. Release is fine, so I think we're good there. I guess the next thing we could test, put this wrench up, is the mag well. So this is an older Glock 9mm magazine. I've shot this one in my Glock Model 17, but it's also one of the older ones. The newer ones have orange followers in there for whatever reason. I don't know if it really changed or not, but let's see if this works. Yeah, so that clicks into place. That's nice. Mag release, yeah, so that's working fine. Okay, cool. So we know all that is functional and correct. So, mag release, I guess we can do that next. So for this, I think this is just a simple bolt in. It does come with a new bolt, so we'll open this like we did the last one. Again, maybe some targets or something behind here on this paper. I don't want to just rip it. Nice. Oh, boom. Nice little target. So that's a nice touch, man. You got to spend money on your packaging anyway. Why not make something that's nice for the consumer? So that's awesome. All right, so this, Extended mag release. This appears to be aluminum. It's kind of knurled on there to get a grip, so I really like that. Comes with this flare head screw. I think, like I said, this is just a simple remove and replace. So let's see if a standard Allen wrench will work on this. I thought I saw in a video where this might be metric. Don't really know why unless the supplier is overseas, but we'll see if I got a standard Allen wrench that'll fit it. It actually feels like it fits, so we'll try that. Definitely don't want to strip anything. Yeah, that's coming out real easy. Obviously there's going to be a spring behind it. Don't know how much pressure, so I'm going to hold the, yeah, mag release. There it is. Okay. Oh, okay, so the whole thing, yeah, it just slipped out the backside. So this is reversible, obviously. I think, so yeah, so there's the mag release spring, there's that. I think I'm gonna keep it right there, because that's, yeah, for me, I'm gonna be shooting, you know, right-handed, and that puts my thumb right there in that mag release area. So we'll just go with that. So I'm gonna take the old, mag release and just put it in the bag there like I did with my other spare parts now. And here's the new one. So it looks good. And I think I'm going to use, I bought this rock set from M Carbo. My understanding is this is basically the same properties as blue Loctite, but it's can stand more temperature, which obviously I don't think you're going to get any heat down here, but it is a gun, so you know it's going to produce heat, so I'll just use a little bit of this and grab some of this to keep from getting it on my mat. And actually I guess I could reassemble this to, yeah, so this just goes through here. Pretty straightforward design. Spring goes over the top. Actually, I think, yeah, I don't need to wipe that off. And then, yeah, the mag release there, so that feels pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna have to compress this pretty good, so I don't know if I've got the spring in there good or not. Let's see. Yeah, that's working. It's just gonna have to be a all-in-one operation here to hold it in against the spring. So there, where did my spring go? Right there. Okay. I wonder if I could, yeah, well, we'll figure it out. That's just gonna drop out until I can get this ready. And yeah, so this is too small, so the new screw takes a larger size wrench. Now, where did I lose one? I'm missing one out of my set here. I'm wondering if I accidentally dropped it somewhere. Huh. Oh well, I guess we'll find that later. All right. So that side in. That side ready. It's going to drop out again. Too small. Just right. I wonder if they have a torque setting for this. I don't know. I don't think I got an Allen wrench that'll go that small, but we'll look and see. Or I mean a torque wrench that'll go that small. Let's see, magazine release. Yeah, reversible magazine release, page 19. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, 15 inch-pounds. And I think my torque wrench only goes down to 20, so I don't have that setting, but this is going to be a very low torque. I mean, obviously the spring is holding it in place anyway, plus we're going to put just a drop of this rock set on the bolt, so shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, there we go. There's the rock set. This is really, I bought the rock set particularly for the muzzle brake, because that's obviously going to be a higher heat item that we'll have to address. So, all right, bolt going through the magazine release. And let's see if we can get this all done without fumbling around too much. Okay, so there's that spring, and now we're ready for the bolt. Need an extra hand here, don't I? We gotta be careful, we don't want to cross anything here, cross thread. Actually, I think if I push this in a little bit, I can use the body to help hold it in place. All right, there we go, grabbed then. At least it felt like it did, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty smooth. So I think everything's lined up. Let's see, where'd that magazine go? Yeah. Okay, yep, seems to be working. So now I'm gonna screw it down a little tighter. Obviously 15 inch-pounds is not very much, so you could probably do it with the wrench straight up, but this is a ball driver, so I'm gonna go with the flat, or the regular size wrench, and then yeah, that should be plenty. And we'll keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't back off or get loose. So yes, you can see the mag release there. It sticks out a lot further. It's going to be a lot easier to use. Glock magazine. Yep, that's releasing. Gravity, no problem. So I think we're good to go there. Okay. So we got the bolt stop, the mag well, and the extended mag release installed. So we're good to go there. I guess next is going to be the bolt itself, or the charging handle rather, not the bolt. And let's see what size this is. So we got a little different package for this. This is coming in a plastic box instead of a bag. Plastic bag inside though for the bolt. All right. I wonder if this has instructions. Let's see. I don't know if it's got a recommended torque. It's probably just going to be whatever's in the manual. So again, we'll use the rock set on this. There's the bolt for it. Just simply drops in and it should be good to go. All right. Look up the torque on this. Charging handle. Yeah, page 21. .532. 65 inch-pounds, so we can use our torque wrench for that. First though, I got to get it out, so 5/32. This may be kind of hard to grab down in there, so yeah, that's in there pretty good. Can we get, yeah, not enough leverage that way, so we'll cheat a little bit with a regular wrench here. Damn, that's in there. It felt like way more than 65 inch-pounds. Maybe the Loctite. Okay, there we go. So, man, that thing is lubed up. So just to show you the comparison, here's the stock handle versus the M-Carbo charging handle. See if I can hold that up correctly. So obviously you can kind of see the meat there. There's a lot more diameter to it and a lot more length, so you can probably get more than one finger on it for pulling it back. I mean, it's not that hard to pull back, but still it's nice having that extra area there. See if I can get all this gun oil off of it. Man, it's really lubed up right there. All right, good to go. Man, you hear the dogs outside? Neighbor's dogs. Must be feeding time. All right, so I'll put a little rock set on here. It's kind of cool to learn about this. I've never heard of this product before, but I'm assuming the manufacturer knows what they're talking about, so I'll take them at their word that it's a better, high temp or moderate temp solution than the Loctite blue. All right, so this just simply screws in. I think about the only way you could screw this up is to cross thread it. This is reversible, by the way. It's also got threads on both sides of the receiver. I think for me this is going to work better because as I, modulate the magazine over here, I could use my shooting hand for that. We'll see. Might be a learning in progress kind of thing where come back and swap it. All right, this is already set to 65 correctly, so yep. All right. All right, so we're good there. Man, it already looks a lot better, doesn't it? Feels a lot better too, so yeah, I really like that. Oh, sorry, I have my thumb on the mag stop there. It's actually kind of cool. You can just flip that up with just a lot more space on that mag, or bolt stop rather. Very nice. All right, all good there. What's next? I guess we got the muzzle brake, which that's going to take me a minute to find something to hold my gun in the vise. So, actually, I guess we can go ahead and do the grip swap. I didn't think about that. Let me grab that. Yeah, so again, this is the BCM Mod 3. I really like these. I just kind of like the one on my BCM. Like I said, I haven't even shot it yet, but at least in my hand it feels, superior to the grip on my old Colt and Bushmaster. So really liking that. See if we can get it out of the child-proof packaging here. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. So the other thing that's kind of cool about these BCM Mod 3 grips, it's got a little storage area here. This is pretty tight. I may have to get something to grip it with to open it. Yeah, there we go. Well, maybe I'm just not strong enough. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I really like that. Of course, it comes with a bolt and a star washer here. The one thing I don't like is these screw head bolts. This Ruger actually has a Allen head in it, if you can see that. So I'll probably reuse the Allen head just because they're a lot easier to deal with and don't strip out. But anyway, where I was going with that is if you look at this Mod 3 grip, it's got the little storage chamber in it, if you will. Kind of cool. I mean, you could put, I don't know what in there, but like if you're going out in the field, you could put like a boar snake in there. Maybe it would fit. I'm not sure. I mean, most people aren't typically going to clean in the bore, but that is something you could use in there, so that's kind of nice. And you got to have that open to get this out anyway, so let's see. Not sure what size this is. I might need a larger Allen wrench. It looks like it's bigger than this. Yep. There we go. 3/16. We'll use our wrench again. That's not in there tight at all. So that's pretty easy. Dang long threaded though. Okay, I think that's loose. Get all this out of the way. Yep, it just pops right off, but it's tight because it hadn't been used before. So, all right, we'll reuse that. Well, you know what? The BCM is longer, so I wonder if I'm going to have to use their bolt. It may have more meat up here in this section, but you see it's a pretty similar profile. I just like the way this feels with the stippling or knurled or however you want to describe it. But this should just slide on. Very tight though. Yeah, it's a tight fit. Okay, there it goes. Well, maybe too tight a fit. Let's see. It's fitting on, but you can see there's a little gap right there where the dovetail is hitting the receiver. So maybe the profiles are different slightly. Or I may be able to pull it in with the screw. I guess we'll try that and see if we get a good grip here. Okay, that doesn't feel like it's starting. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I don't think that's starting. Well, maybe it did. No, I think we're just spinning in the grip, so let's try the BMC screw with a screwdriver. See if we can pull it in with this. There we go. That's not starting either, so I guess I got to get it lined up better. All right, so the battery died. I got that changed out. Ultimately, you didn't really miss anything because I was sitting here fumbling around with this BCM Mod 3 grip trying to make it work. And it's not going to for this particular application. So I guess I'll just, have this as a spare that I could put on one of my other ARs or one of my ARs. But essentially the reason this won't fit, two reasons I'm noticing. Number one, it's got this little shelf area that goes under the recess of the trigger guard there, and the stock Ruger grip does not have that, so that allows it to slide down on the receiver further. So I think you can see the gap right there. Also, the way this receiver is with this, the spur you would call it on the pistol grip, that's hitting the receiver too, not allowing it to come all the way down. So I couldn't get the screw started. So not going to be able to use that. That's disappointing, but it's not a waste because I will use it on one of my other rifles. I've got a Bushmaster, an old Bushmaster. I think I'm going to put this in there. Then also, just by coincidence, if you can see in there, that's the stock PMT trigger. I believe it's a PNT is what they call it. PNT, something like that from BCM. I swapped that trigger for a Gazelle or Giselle, however you say it, trigger on my BCM AR. I've got the SSA-E enhanced trigger there, and it works really good. So unfortunately, this is not going to work. I'm going to leave the stock bolt, or the bolt that came with it, in here. Close that back up, and we've got a spare. So now I'll put the stock Ruger grip back on. It's not that the Ruger grip feels bad. I mean, the profiles are similar. This one is just a little, feels a little fatter to me, and I really like this texture, whatever that is. So disappointing, but not a big deal. So we'll put the stock pistol grip back on. And actually, I just realized the bolt I put in here is the one that goes with the stock grip. So let me see if I can get this back open again. Yeah. The Allen head came with the Ruger stock, and the BCM came with this flathead screwdriver. So not really a fan of that. It'd be nice if they would put an Allen in there. I think that's one thing they could do to enhance that. But regardless, we'll put this back on, and I guess we'll just go with it. So again, no Loctite required because you got a star washer on here and it's digging into plastic, so it should work pretty well. There we go. Okay, cool. Well, make sure that's not cross-threading. There we go. It's a little tight, but I think that's just from maybe some, I don't know if they put Loctite on it from the factory or not. I didn't notice any, and with that star washer, you don't have to really do that. All right, that feels pretty good. So that's as tight as I can get it with no leverage, and then I'm going to use the wrench just to crank it just a hair. That feels pretty good. I guess I could see if there's a torque value for that. I don't really think there is, or at least probably not in this manual. Maybe it is. Let's see, magazine well bolt stop. Yeah, I don't see anything about the grip there. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this section. I think the only thing left is to set up for this muzzle brake. So I'm going to have to find something to line the jaws of my vise with. I guess we could go ahead and take it out and take a look at it and see what this looks like. This was really what led me to M Carbo. I was looking for muzzle brakes for this thing, and theirs was all over Google, so it popped up, and went to their site, watched their videos, read a bunch of reviews, which, yeah, I get it. You're reading reviews on the manufacturer's site. You could think there may be a filter there or something, but the vibe I got was that it was high quality stuff. And then if you check out a few of the gun forums and stuff, people seem to speak highly of it. So if there is something afoot, maybe I didn't notice it, but it seems to be quality stuff. All right, so here's the muzzle brake. Got a crush washer here, so you can align it, and I think they use the word time it in their video. I use the word align because essentially you're just making sure that these ports, if you can see that, face up. So your exhaust is going that way to keep your muzzle flip from, to a minimum. So looks like a good quality piece. Nice machining. It's obviously anodized. Got threads to match the barrel. And then you got the crush washer, which I'll have to look. I can't remember which direction this goes, but I'll make sure before I put it on. I have to look at the barrel profile too. I'm assuming it goes that way, but we'll see. You can see it's tapered in one direction, or I think you can see. But that said, I guess I'll stop the video for now. I got to figure out how I'm going to set my jaws up on my chuck, and then we'll relocate the camera over there, and we'll put this thing on and see how that goes. All right, we're back. I've got my barrel and handguard assembly in the vise. If you have aluminum jaws, those are what's recommended for this type of thing. You don't want steel on your aluminum handguard to scar it up. I didn't have aluminum jaws, so I just improvised. I made some little rubber pieces out of a used dirt bike inner tube I had, so I just cut some sections out of that, put it in here. The main thing you're trying to do is get your barrel level, and that is so when you put your muzzle brake on, you can make sure it's level with the barrel. Mine is close, but it's a little off. It's just really a combination, stack up of tolerances between my workbench vise, etc. So it's not perfectly square, but it's good enough to work with. So we'll get back to that later. Just make sure the muzzle brake matches the levelness of the barrel. So this comes with a screw-on thread protector. Kind of acts like a nut, if you will, that goes on the barrel. So I'm going to remove that. There's also a O-ring here that comes on it, and you're going to take that off because you're not going to need that for the muzzle brake install. So remove those and just set them aside for now. I'm going to clean these threads here. There's a little bit of gun oil on it, so I want to make sure we're clear on that before we put the muzzle brake on. Actually, yeah, use a little bit of degreaser here. Yeah, to make sure we get all that oil off. Yeah. Dang. Hope that didn't get on my camera lens. Okay, so anyway, we've cleaned that off. Looks good. And then the next step is there's a crush washer that goes in between the barrel and the muzzle brake. I'm going to put this on and make sure the tapered end, if you can see that, goes towards the barrel. So we'll put that on with the tapered end towards the barrel. And then I'm going to use Rockset on these threads, the high temp Loctite type stuff. And then the other thing that was recommended was to put just a little bit of grease on this surface where it'll slide better across that crush washer as you're crushing it. So I'm going to do that. I've got, what is this? This is actually Slick Oleum light grease. Again, back to the dirt bikes, that kind of came from my fork steel installation kit a while back. So, damn, got some in the threads there. Okay, so I'm going to put that on and get something to dig this out of the threads. Yeah, so don't do like I did and get it in the threads, and make sure that comes out. Yep. Okay, I think we're good. So that'll help that slide a little bit, I think. And then we're basically ready to put it on. I'm going to put a drop of Rockset on here. Dang. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. I didn't get any on the threads. Rockset. That's probably too much. It's hard to get just a little bit out, quite honestly. But that should disperse nicely when we screw this on. So, crush washer's in the right direction, Rockset, grease on the face, and this is ready to go on. There we go. So once it gets tight, what was recommended was to wrap this in masking tape. I don't have any beige masking tape, so I'm going to use this painter's masking tape. They recommended about 4 revolutions. Boy, and that's like not even going to stick. So let's see if we can make it work. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is supposed to keep your muzzle brake from getting scarred up. And they said a 13/16 wrench should fit that, and it kind of does, but I'm going to go with an adjustable to make it a little tighter fit. And let's see, so we want to go a full rotation, so we'll go 360. I forget what it said in the instructions. I think you have up to 570 degrees of rotation with this thing, but I think just one full rotation will get us where we need to be. So let's try it. Man, that gets tight. I'll just back off a little bit to help with the crush. And yeah, it's flexing a little bit on me here too. So that may not be the best situation, but it's the best I've got. So, yeah, so I've got to go all the way around. Wow. I'm going to crush it just a little more with the vise. Again, you're compressing this rubber in my situation, so maybe it's not too bad on it, but I hate putting a lot of pressure on that. All right. So I think we're upside down. I should have looked, but yes, I think this is upside down. See if I can see it with the flashlight. Yeah, I'm 180 degrees out, so I'm going to have to go all the way around. I'll try that. It's getting really tight though, which I guess is kind of the point. You don't want it to back off. All right, now we're approaching tight. So I'm going to back off just a squirt, and then we'll go all the way to level. All right. I think that's very close. Obviously with the tape on there, it's not going to be very close, but we'll take that off here in just a second. All right, let's try that. Of course, it only sticks when you don't want it to. That's the way all tape works, I believe. And bumper stickers and anything else with adhesive, right? All right. Did a pretty good job of protecting it, it looks like. All right, so let's see how true we are. Okay, that really shifted around quite a bit with the with the torquing we put on it. Well, looking at it visually, I can tell I've got to come around just a squirt. So I'm going to put some more tape on it. Do this process again. If I can put it on straight. All right. Got to go just a turn, not very much. Or half a turn, I guess I should say. All right. Let's try that. Yeah, I guess if you're not level, it's just going to be trial and error until you get it level. But obviously the main thing is having this relatively straight with your barrel, because you don't want it to force you any other direction than down. And that looks pretty good to me. Again, it's very hard to tell with this vise set up because I'm not, solidly clamped. See, by that it looks like I'm way off, but I don't believe I am looking at it. I think it's just the way it's sitting in the vise. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll take it out and take a look-see. I really do like the way this looks, though. If you get a little closer view there, it looks to be square to me, looking straight in, but I don't know if this camera angle's doing it justice. I guess I'll find out when I upload this and look at it on a bigger screen. But anyway, so far so good. We'll take this out and then make sure it's square. If we need to, we'll adjust it, but I think it's pretty close. You can kind of see the little flat right there. It tells you where the center is on your barrel, if you can see that. So we'll take it off, see how it looks. Okay, we are back. Got the barrel and the handguard, or the rail, installed back on the receiver. So there it is, got the muzzle brake installed. Turned out pretty nice, really like that. Looks really good, so pretty happy with the way that turned out. So other than optics I got to put on here in a minute, the next thing, or next to the last thing I want to do is put this BCM CAG grip on here. Kinesthetic angled grip. So we'll open it up and check it out. I thought this might be a better grip than this stock one. It's kind of small. Actually, on these, this is not a short barreled rifle, this is a pistol, so you can't put a vertical grip on it, but they do allow you to have these angled grips. And, you know, I think the idea is to keep your, at least for me, it's like a hand stop where you can't go too far forward and, you know, get in front of the barrel or into the muzzle brake dispersion or something like that. So these CAG grips from BCM, let me open it up here. Actually comes with an Allen wrench, that's nice, even though I've got tools. So there's the, oh, be careful there. There's the Allen wrench. And here's the grip. So, you know, it's just an M-lock. It comes with the, I guess the T-nuts or however you want to call that. But typically, if you're on an AR type platform, these things are put on in this orientation. Let's see if I can show that. You know, they typically go on like this. So as you grip, you will grip, and this will be, you know, it kind of gives you a position to where your hand is coming back like this. So you don't go too far back when you're holding the rifle. But if you notice, this curvature is the other way, and I'm planning on putting this on kind of in a reverse, you know, to put it up here, because I'm wanting to stop this way. So I'm going to have the curvature facing back instead of the typical orientation, if I can get a grip here, which is that way. So let's take the old one off and put the new one on. So there's the Allen wrench for that. I already got this out for the stock one. And yeah, I can't turn it by hand, so I have to use a little leverage here with my wrench. There we go. Didn't take hardly anything. It's not torqued on very tight. So you can wiggle it out now with the T-nut there. Yeah, so there we go. So again, this is the stock one. I guess that's Magpul, isn't that? I think that's a Magpul symbol, so that's what this looks like. It says UTG on it. Not really familiar with this exact model, but it appears to be, I guess, a Magpul. So obviously we're going to save that for our spare parts bin. And then I'm going to put this on. We may have to play with it to see if it'll line up. Let's see. Okay. Well, it did line up, but the problem is if I put it on, it gives me more room, but I don't know if I like that or not, because if you can see, this is sticking over the end of the guard, which I guess it wouldn't really matter. You know, that feels good in that orientation, but I don't know if I like that or not sticking out. So let's move it to the next slot and see if that's any better and if it provides any more room, because I don't want to take away from my grip area. Okay, and obviously it gets stuck because the T-nuts don't line up. There we go. So you can see on these M-locks, obviously they're slotted. So I've got to either put everything here or, you know, split the difference by one nut on it, one bolt on either side. So let's do that and see how that feels. Well, all right, if I can get it out again. Definitely don't have to worry about these things coming off, because once the T-nut slides, you're not really going to get it off. Oh, dropped it. So I don't know if I like that either, because the problem with that is you're partially blocking your takedown pin right there, which I think it can still slide forward even with this here. So it may not be a big issue, but kind of see how it feels. You know, if that's right there, that does make it feel a little better to me than the stock grip, but it's really in the same location. I was hoping I could move it forward, but if I do, like I said, I'm gonna be, let's try this again, there we go. Yeah, it's gonna be just sticking out slightly from my hand guard, which I guess it really doesn't matter. It just doesn't look as good right there as it would flush. So, but it does give you a lot more room on the hand guard up there than it would back here. So, but the one thing I didn't try, let's see, I can get this out again. So if I put the stock one back on and move it all the way up, maybe that's the solution. Yeah, because this was kind of here like this, and I didn't really like that, but if we go with it there, yeah, then you've got maximum room without being over the end. And really, quite honestly, let's take a look. The angle on this Magpul versus the CAG is pretty similar. The profile, I don't know if that shows up good on the video or not, but you can see the CAG is slightly longer and it's got a little more body to it up here. But now that I've tried it, I'm literally leaning back towards putting the stock one on and just putting it in the upper position, because I think that really feels better to me. So let's just go with that. And again, none of these parts are going to waste. I mean, this can always be used on another rifle or pistol, but I'm kind of thinking now I like that. So let me put this back on. Actually, I need to see if the T-nut is aligned. Nope, I pulled it through. So we'll back up just a squirt. Okay, there it is. See if it's gonna turn on me. Nope, okay. And that's aligned. Let me just torque this down just a squirt. Okay. Okay, don't want to put too much torque on it because these are very small bolts. Okay, that actually feels pretty good. I kind of like that. That gives me a lot more room. And even with my thumb fully forward, I'm not really, you know, in the way of that muzzle brake action, even though I would probably hold it down. So I like that. Let's put the magazine in. Yeah, so I do. That gives me a good grip. I like that. I think one of the things I found also, just since I put this extended magazine release on, you can see how that sticks out further. I think that's going to be very prone for accidental, you know, dropping the magazine. So originally I put it on this side thinking that was a better solution, but since it is reversible, I think I'm going to reverse it to this side along with the charging handle, where, because if I'm going to hold like this, then really the mag release is right there. So it's more of a, it's kind of a natural action to come down and hit that right there. That's one thing people don't like about these, is the awkward location of the mag release. You know, I haven't even shot it yet, so I don't know if I like it or not, but I can already tell the way I'm holding this, you know, my palm is right there, so it doesn't take very much to accidentally discharge or accidentally drop the magazine. So, and it's even worse if you pull back like that. So honestly, 2 lessons learned already. I'm going to stick with the Magpul stock angled grip, and I'm going to reverse the magazine release and put it on this side, and I think that's going to be a better option for me. And again, it's always a learning in progress kind of a deal, but I think I'm going to do that to make it more optimal. The reason I kind of noticed the magazine is when I'd set the weapon down earlier, just, you know, pressing it like that disengaged it, so I'm like, wow, that's really sensitive on that side. So I think flipping that will be better, and we'll just stay with the factory grip, move to the full forward position. So I'm liking that. Okay, so I guess next is optics. So let me grab the optics and we'll start on that. All right, back. Got the Holosun 510C. I have one other Holosun product. I've got a, what is it, 507K or a 407K, I forget. It's the smaller version. I bought one of those for my Glock Model 44, which is a 22 long rifle. Obviously the Glocks, at least those, don't come with the MOS or the already, you know, milled and tapped slide. So I bought one from Nelson. Is it Nelson Precision Manufacturing, I think? It's supposed to ship out this month. I haven't got it yet, so I haven't even mounted the Holosun. It does seem to be high quality. I know a lot of people love these things. I think I mentioned before my brother uses them. But yeah, so this will really be the first one I've mounted. So we'll open it up and see what the box looks like. packaging seems to be pretty quality, which I guess if you're sending expensive sites, you would think it would be quality. So, okay, there we go. Instructions, manual, etc. And to the good stuff. So, make some room here. Looks like we got some tools in here. What is this, the battery or the battery cover? And then, of course, here's the scope. I like this packaging, man. It's looks like high density foam. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Solar panel. You know, what do we got? Windage and elevation, I guess. Okay, so there's that. I wonder if this is just another, that looks like a spare battery holder, I guess is what that is. So, I'm assuming the battery's already in there because I'm not seeing it. I guess we'll find out here in a minute as we go, but that looks like it. I do like this box, man. That is some quality packaging in my opinion. So we'll put that spare back in there. We'll keep these two tools out. That looks like your kind of a screwdriver you could use for your elevation, or yeah, that fits right there. And then a bigger one, I guess, for adjusting other stuff. So this has the quick disconnect. I think it just, do you push to unlock? It looks like something like that. Push to unlock. Yeah, and then it just fits on the Picatinny rail. So that seems pretty straightforward. We'll come back to this here in a minute. Probably won't need those parts. We'll probably need this. And we may look at the instructions here in a minute too. So the other thing I got is I wasn't sure if this was going to be enough elevation. It might be. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it as is. So I went ahead and bought this Unity riser. I think I may have mentioned that in the start of the video, but we'll see how this goes and if we want to use this or not, and see what the optimal height is going to be for this thing. So see if we can cut that open. I didn't cut it all the way. All right. Okay. So obviously the packaging is just a box. And, you know, you don't really need a whole bunch of protection for a metal piece. But, okay, so this is the Unity. Looks like it's got Torx drivers. Did not come with any type of tool, but it looks like you just loosen that, and then this mounts on the Picatinny rail, and then you can decide if you're going forward, backward, whatever with that. So I guess let's see how it looks with just the scope by itself, and then we'll play with the riser. So, you know, and this here's where there's a lot of, you know, probably personal choice involved. You know, with these, not necessarily red dot, but with these reflex sights, I mean, it's not like you really need the eye relief. It's going to be wherever it is, or it's going to work wherever it is. So really, it's just the best location for you, I think. And I don't necessarily know where that is. There's a little side benefit. This charging handle makes a good little angle set point there. So I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to open it. And then let's see. Like I said, it's a quick disconnect, so I'm assuming you can just, I'm not sure if the tension is right, but let's just put it on forward and see how that works. If we can, let's see, we're gonna have to go on this way. Yeah, so that's the far forward position, which is right over the ejection port. And that actually feels pretty good like that, but I don't know, you know, I mean, it seems nice. I really like this field of view. That's pretty wide. Let's see if we can cut it on. I don't know. I'm assuming you just press a button to cut it on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I can see it real clear. Yeah, probably gonna have to take these glasses off. Let's see. Man, I really like that dot. That's pretty awesome. So, let's see if I can get behind here and try to do this without messing the camera up too much. I can't really see if you can see that or not. Hard to tell from this angle. I don't know, maybe I can get some better pictures later, but I really like that. That's pretty awesome, actually. And that may be the right height I want, but I'm gonna play with this mount and see. So I'm not sure. Let's see if I hit both of these, if this will turn this off. I think it does, yeah. Okay, so we're off. And again, I don't really know why I need to cut it off. The battery life is outstanding on these. On another note, so this is the quick disconnect. Also, once you have it in place where you want it, I believe you're supposed to tighten that screw just a hair to that way it won't back out, even though I don't think it's going to. It feels pretty robust. Another thing I like about the Holosun, and this is one thing I actually like about it better than my Trigicon, is it has the shake awake feature. It also has the solar cells on this particular model. I don't know the specifics, but I would assume if your battery is low or dead, maybe the solar would, you know, keep you functional until you could get it replaced. Again, I'm speculating. I haven't read the instructions yet, but I do know it has shake awake, so I like that. You know, if this is something you're going to use for home defense or having a situation where you want it instantly ready, I like shake awake because you're not burning battery when it's just sitting there for hours on end. You pick it up, as soon as it senses movement, the optic goes active. That's a feature I'd like to see Trigicon pick up. I mean, as expensive as Trigicon is, you know, on average, they're a couple $100 more than a Holosun. I mean, obviously they're made in USA. Holosun's made in China. That's the one big detractor, but you know, what's not made in China these days? I wish Holosun would have the shake awake feature. I think I would like that quite a bit. Anyway, we're going to take this back off and we'll play with this Unity mount and see, you know, do we like that better or not? I'm not really sure yet. So let's see, push forward. Yeah, and it just unclips like that, so that's pretty easy. And then for this, it looks like some tools required. Torx driver, which the Holosun came with that, but this doesn't, so I'm gonna have to find one and see if I've got the right size. So digging around the toolbox, I've got a bunch of Torx bits for my sockets, but I don't think I have actual drivers, so we'll just make one out of this. Let's see what size we need. That looks like 35 or 40 maybe. Okay, wow, right off the bat got it, and that's a what, 25? Okay, missed it, this is a 25. Okay, and that's not torqued down, which is kind of cool, so we'll loosen that off a little bit. Yeah, so we'll probably, I don't know if this has instructions. Oh, okay, it's got a QR code where you can scan it and get to the instructions, so we'll have to see what the torque is, but worry about that after we get it, you know, figure out if we're using it or not. So I'm gonna make me a little socket screwdriver here. I think this was a $90, $95 or something like that. Not cheap, but it seems to be decent quality. So let's see, mag out. Put this over here where I won't accidentally knock that on the floor. And let's see, if we're going up here, you know, with this you could actually, I guess if you wanted to, now let's see how this works first. I think I may have to open this more, yeah, to get it on here. So, okay, there we go. So, you know, if you put that on there in this location, you could actually move your sight forward if you wanted to. You know, I think the way I'm going to be holding this location is probably fine. But, yeah, not sure. So, let's just put it on here for shits and giggles right now and see if we like that location. We can always come back and relocate if we want to. I'm also not sure what's preferred, forward or back. I mean, this is really just a Picatinny rail, you know, piggyback on the Picatinny rail, so I don't think it really matters if you have the tapered end forward or back. Kind of like the KAG mount, probably just put it where you want it and leave it, so that seems pretty robust. I really, you know, I grew up when everybody had scope rings and taps and, you know, screws and all that. I really loved the Picatinny rail. One thing I will say on this one, I think, I don't know for a fact, I thought I read somewhere, well no, this appears to be machined into the metal, so I guess it is metal. maybe I'm thinking of something else. I read somewhere it was talking about a polymer Picatinny rail, but this seems to be metal, so it appears to be machined out of the same chunk as the receiver. So anyway, all right, so we'll put this back on, see how we like it. And really, you could even go, yeah, I mean, it's, you can go up and down the rail just like you can here. So we'll see. Oops, that's right, just go ahead and scratch it up. Perfect. Okay, is that's the most forward position. Okay, and this feels, I mean, this should be the same size, but for whatever reason, that does not feel like it wants to shut, and I'm not going to force it. Yeah, something is not clamping correctly there. So, okay, we're back. I figured out what the issue was. The Holosun would fit on the Picatinny rail, but it would not fit on this, the Unity Tactical Fast Absolute Riser. Essentially all it was I had to loosen up the quick disconnect mount a little bit. The Holosun came with this Torx driver, and you can use that to loosen the screw to let it widen a little bit. It was just right on the bleeding edge of not fitting. So now that we got that figured out, I'm going to mount it on the PC charger. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to align I played with it a little bit while I was not filming, and I think the best location for me is going to be right here, just rear of the ejection port. So I'm going to put the Unity riser on here where it lines up to the rear of the port, if you can see that, and then mount the Holosun on top of it, obviously. I did, look through the Holosun with it mounted directly to the Picatinny rail, and it was just really, I don't know, I felt comfortable and more natural with it on this riser. This is the Unity Tactical Absolute Riser, so I'm assuming what that means is you can co-witness this, not the bottom 1/3, but an actual co-witness if it was like an AR type application. Obviously this is not. So for me, I think we're going to be good to go with it as is. This came, it looks like, with a little bit of Loctite on it, but that has obviously, I put it on and off so many times, there's not much left. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on this. Or I guess I could use the rock set like I've been using on everything else, and that would be okay. So I'll take that off. Yeah, it did have something on there. I don't know what it was, but again, I've played with it so much, screwing it on and off. I want to make sure and put some type of Loctite on here. So just a dab of that. Yep. Well, get my screwdriver again here. Okay, there we go. Put a little dab on this side. May put too much on there, probably not going to take much, but okay, so there we go. And I think you could probably put these either way depending on your application, but all the pictures I saw showed this with the tapered edge towards the barrel. So I'm going to mount it that way. Just, I really don't have a reason not to. So we'll mount it in that orientation and see how that works. So again, I'm going to try to align to the end of the barrel there, or excuse me, the end of the ejection port. So that's like one Picatinny slot behind, and I think I'm going to go with that. So try to tighten this up equally. It's very loose. You don't want to get these in a bind. Again, back to the, putting lug nuts on your car, a little bit at a time. Of course, obviously you don't have a cross pattern here because it's just straight line connector. But yeah, I just want to make sure that's good and firm, snugged up before I torque it. Again, this thing, you can see it's got the hole. They make a quick disconnect for this. I wasn't aware of that. I'm not going to be taking it off anyway. but they do have that option. So I think that's where I want it. That looks pretty good. It's kind of right behind the ejection port. So I'm going to go ahead and torque it down. So there were no instructions with this that came with this, but it does have a QR code. And when I went to their website, it said 35 inch-pounds is the torque. So we're going to torque that down to 35 inch-pounds. I think I already preset this. Yeah, 25, 35. Okay, so we will torque that, being careful not to scratch anything. "35 inch-pounds is not that much, but I guess on these Picatinnies, you know, you've got torque working with you, so it kind of helps it stay in place. I think a gun vise would be, if I had a way to hold this, would make this operation a lot easier, but we'll see. Okay, there was 35. I'm going to hit it here. That's 35. Make sure nothing's slipped. I'll hit it one more time just to double check, since this is an optic. Don't want anything coming loose. Yep. Also, a lot of people ask, you know, why do you hold your torque wrench way down at the end? Well, I read somewhere many moons ago you're actually supposed to do that. I guess if you're torquing it up here, you know, I'm not really sure, because when it clicks, it clicks. Whether it's the leverage here or here, does it really matter? Maybe that's something left over from the old spring-loaded, you know, torque days. I'm not sure. So anyway, that's good. Now, I'm going to mount the optic. So I'm going to open up the quick disconnect. Before I do, I can't remember if I showed this, but, you know, solar panels here, windage, elevation, brightness buttons, or whatever mode you want to put it in. Nice field of view. Looks very robust. Let me see. I wonder if I can. I tried it with the gun, but it was kind of awkward to hold. Let me see if I can show you the dot through here. Let's see. I'm having a very difficult time seeing if you can see that or not. Let's see. I can't tell if you can see it or not. I think I'm kind of spinning my wheels here, but if you can, great. If you can't, sorry. I'll try to get some better pictures later on, but I really do like the, you know, it's a 2 MOA dot and a 65 MOA circle. That's one of the reasons I like the Holosun. I commented on it earlier. I kind of like that better than the plain red dot in my Trigicon, even though I love it too. But okay. So that's easy enough. I'll torque this screw down here in a minute, but so that is right kind of to the rear of the ejection port. I'm actually thinking I may move that back just a notch because it's right even right here. I think it would be fine, but I don't know. I think it may, or maybe it take a little while to get used to it and see, you know, if I like that or not. I do love the way that feels. Ergonomically, that's just right, because like I said, I put this on without the riser, and I was just like, you know, it feels like you keep having to bend your neck too far. So I really like, you know, that location. But I may come back and move it back just a squirt. I don't know. I may look online and see how some other people have theirs set up. For this, you know, there's not, like I said, there's not an eye relief component. It's just, you know, what feels really good. To me, that feels good at that height. I don't think it matters if you're going further or back, but I think to the rear would be just a little better for whatever reason. So I like the way it looks. You know, it obviously adds a little bit of bulk to it with the other mount, but it's just some aluminum. This thing is inherently heavy anyway. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I guess the last step I've got to do is torque down this, you know, this Torx driver right here is what, even though you're a quick disconnect, you use that to make sure it doesn't come loose. There's instructions. I read them online. I forget what the torque is. I think it's very, you know, minimal, like maybe 30 inch-pounds or something. I will read that and torque it, but I think first I'm going to decide if I'm going to move all this back or not. But for now, probably going to just leave it there. It feels pretty good. Oh, also, you can see I reversed the, can't remember if I mentioned that, but I went ahead and reversed the, I was talking about it, but I can't remember if I told you. I reversed the magazine release, and it really feels better over there. So Magazine in, charge, nothing in there. Yeah, we're empty. So, but yeah, so with that right there, it just, if I'm, I move the vertical grip, or the angled vertical grip, I guess I should say, forward, ended up sticking with the stock instead of the BCM CAG. So left that on. Also couldn't get the Mod 3 BCM grip to work, so I went back with the stock one, and it's fine. I just kind of like the width of, the BCM a little more. But that'll probably be going on my Bushmaster now. So yeah, I think we're done. Just got to get it zeroed in, which I'm hoping to do next weekend or whenever I have a chance. Hopefully next weekend will be the time. But yeah, just showing this, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to see this angle, but holding it with this angle, that just kind of puts the palm or the butt of your hand there, the palm, I guess, into that, and I accidentally knocked the magazine release a couple of times. But with it over here, it's just really a natural action to, if you're firing this way, to just come back and hit that, and it's just a real natural feel. Also like the charging handle over here, because I guess if I'm going to reload, it would be boom, boom. So I don't know. I guess there's some extra motion there. You could do it on, you could put this charging handle over here and just do it that way, but then you've got a moving charging handle close to your forward hand. So I don't really like that aspect of it either. But anyway, I really do like this setup. So this is what the final version is going to look like. Safety on. I really like it, man. This thing is heavy, but it's got a very ergonomic grip or ergonomic feel to it, especially with, getting this adjusted. So yeah, I guess the only other thing, it does have a Picatinny rail here, and you could put a pistol brace on this. Like I said, this is not a SBR, it is a pistol. As of today, what is today? April 6th, I guess. Can't remember. As far as we know right now, pistol braces are legal, but, as always with ATF, government, etc., they could change the law, use a regulation, and, you're just one signature away from being a felon, if that makes sense. So, this is a legal configuration right now, and as long as there's no pistol brace on it, it will be for the foreseeable future. But it'll be interesting to know what the final resolution is on that pistol brace issue. For right now, they're legal. So, hey, go buy one, put it on, do whatever you want. But, obviously, it's unfortunate, but it's your responsibility to know what the laws are and what you can and can't do. So I really hate having to, build something and then wait 5 minutes and see if it changes and if you have to change your configuration. So anyway, just, word to the wise, be aware of what the laws are. Yeah, so I really like this thing. So I guess just to kind of summarize, we did the new charging handle from M-Carbo, also extended magazine release that we ended up putting on the right side of the weapon from M-Carbo, extended bolt stop down here, just replaced the factory bolt stop, muzzle brake also from M-Carbo. So I guess this is really an M-Carbo special, right? Got a lot of their parts on here, but they seem to make some, quality stuff and has a good reputation. Also with the Unity Tactical Fast Absolute Riser and the Holosun 510C. So really excited about this thing. I guess the only thing left is to zero it in and go have some fun. So got 1,000 rounds of CCI Blazer ammo that just came in, so hopefully we can use that to break it in. I really like the Blazer ammo personally. I've had good luck with it. That's another question, or not question, but I think this thing is rated for plus P, but not plus P plus. Which the stuff I got, I don't even think is plus P, but it should be fun. I mean, like I said, this is a blowback gun. It is kind of portly, kind of heavy. I'm getting used to it. Originally maybe it was awkward, but it feels pretty good now. So, yeah, we'll go have some fun with it and see what happens. So, well, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for learning with me as we took this thing apart. I think the only thing left to do now is see if I like this trigger or not, and if not, I will definitely be buying the M-Carbo version. That's supposed to be a little lighter, but I want to get some mileage on it first and see how it goes. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, maybe we can do another one sometime. Thanks.